Getting old, eh? God damn, I wonder if this is still working. See, what you're supposed to do is, because it's kind of air sensitive too, use something like this. This is their brand, Extend It, hey? And it's a dry gas blanket. So you spray a little bit of this in the containers, and it takes away the air, and they don't die on you right away. So this is the rubber part. It's called Mold Max 20 from Smooth On. It's probably a different jug now and everything. People that use this go, holy crap, that's an old one. Well, it's still soft inside there. Now, here's some ease release. That's kind of a releasing agent. Got lots of that for some reason. Super seal. Oh yeah, so if you're doing a porous type mold, you have to seal your stuff. So let's say you do your initial thing out of Fimo or something. Fimo is not too bad, that's at, or Sculpey, it's not that bad. So let's say plaster of Paris, you'll have to put some sealing agent, like sometimes they use beeswax, they use waxes, but otherwise your mold it kind of screws up. And this stuff here, I mean, like let's say you're working with that green stuff or something, your fingerprint, man, that has to be gone, okay? Because this stuff will pick up just the minutest little bit of, like I've done. Look, God dang it, I don't have any. Oh, well, here is it. Here's the chunk I was going to show you. Now this is old stuff, but and of course I won't be able to focus with my camera. Okay, we'll try anyways. Anyways, in here you can see, man, this is all my fingerprints. And it just shows up, holy jeez, that shows up really good. So let's say you're doing sandbags, like which this is. Okay, this is a whole bunch of sandbags that I was trying to do. And you make all your little sandbags out of Fimo and you stack them all together and stuff like that. Well, all your fingerprints that are on those, those little Sculpey sandbags, they'll show up, eh? So you have to do something like make your little sandbag and then put it in a piece of Kleenex or tissue or like a percale sheet, a 400, 800 count type sheet, eh? Put it in there and then just kind of fold it and give it a little bit of press, and then that'll give you the burlap effect on the bag. Otherwise you'll see your fingerprints on it and it'll really piss you off, okay? Especially if you waste a bunch of rubber making your friggin' mold, eh? So, yeah. And then, okay, well here I'll just show you on this one here. See how this, I've got this big tube going down and over and then into these things and then up. Okay, this is a two-part mold. So what you do is you make your little box, okay, and you put your pieces in the box. Get them all standing up nice and straight. Usually plasticine is a good thing to do, eh? So you put it down there and you put your plasticine, nice, layer of plasticine in the box. Put your piece in it halfway down into your piece. So let's say we're casting, well, this thing here, okay, this weird shape here. Now because it's got a lip here, we wouldn't want to cast it this way. We'd turn it this way so that we could pull it out of the mold, okay? And you'd make your split mold this way. So you'd bury this in plasticine, halfway like this. And make your plasticine all nice and flat all the way around it, okay, inside the box. And then you'd fill that box full of rubber. And that's how you make the top piece. Okay, before you fill it up, take something like a pen or something and poke a couple holes on each side of your your piece. Like one here, one here, one here, one here. That's what these are. See these? So that way when you're putting your mold together, you've got pins, basically, and you know how your mold goes together. That way it fits together exactly all the time. Okay, so make sure you you punch some holes in your plasticine before you pour the rubber in. Okay, so that's what this is. So this would be the top piece. And you see where these little holes are, where it went into there. Okay. Now, in the plasticine around this, because you get air bubbles all the time, okay? When you're pouring your plastic, this is, by the way, how the plastic comes is in. I buy it in a bigger jug and then you save more, okay? But when you're pouring your mold, lots of times you'll have little lips in there and you'll get air bubbles, and you can kind of vibrate them out. There's those, you know, centrifugal machines, say that spin it. They're like for doing well, anyways, we're off topic right now. Anyway, those will get rid of some of the air bubbles too. And if you extend your pour, you know, like if you pour from a nice, long, thin pour, really thin, it elongates, speech problems, elongates the bubbles, okay, and it stretches them out and they'll pop on their way down. Hopefully that's the theory anyway. So it does kind of work, especially with the rubber, okay. But, so one way of doing this is in your split mold, is you have, this is where I would pour the plastic in, and it would go down here, and it would fill this up, and forcing all the air out of these vent holes, okay? So it would, you know, you pour it down here, and it fills up, all the air goes out, and theoretically you should have no air in there, okay? Then you can kind of tap it like this and the air bubbles will rise up. That's the theory anyways. Because some of this plastic is, oh man, I've had it so many times, you know, you're pouring it out, and that's it. It's hard, hey? Oh, yeah. There's different stuff of it, you know, 20 minute, 7 minute, it all depends on what you're doing. If you're doing a slush cast, which is, well, like this, you know, let's say I wanted something like this kind of, see how this is hollow type thing. Your mold would be a box, you'd put your plastic in it, and you would tilt it around like this, eh, and just make the plastic coat all the way around the box, eh, and then it'd be a thin layer, and out would come this kind of thing. That's a slush cast. That's how I did my Lord of the Rings walls. I wonder if I got one of those in here. Probably not. You have to look in my gallery. Remember the Lord of the Rings Helm's Deeps? It only came with 3 pieces, say 2 curved pieces and the gate piece. Well, I wanted some straight pieces, okay? You know, extend it out. So I made a mold out of this stuff of a square piece, you know, like I extended it, cut the lines exactly so the bricks would match with the curved piece, you know, and then I could use a slush cast, okay? So I've got this big mold out of this pink stuff of a little square wall that matches up with the Games Workshop Helm's Deep, okay? And then you can pour some plastic in it, you know, and turn it around like this and get a nice thin coating of plastic all the way around, okay? And you know, matches up with. Now that's basically how Games Workshop does theirs. You know, they probably have a machine, but I don't know. They got air bubbles and shit in theirs too, eh? If you look at them, it's just packed all the way up there. Anyways, if you take the felt off the, you know, the Games Workshop Helm's Deep and peel back the little felt on the bottom a little bit, you can see that it's filled full of now a foam. And the same guys that sell this stuff here, they also sell a foam that it's a 2-part stuff, and you pour it in there and it's expanding foam. It's pretty much like here. Do I have it? Oh, it's out in the other room. You know, the expanding foam, the stuff that I use for the Hobbit houses. You can buy that in 2 parts, you mix them together, pour it in there, and it'll expand. It's kind of cool stuff. I've never played with that stuff before, but should. I've seen castles and gaming train made out of that. That's kind of why I got out of it. Hey, everybody was, you know, once you get into duplicating, well, geez, yeah, you can cut your costs down, but it's nice doing one-shot type things. Anyways, I'm rambling on here.